Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menasce. Happy first of the month. On the first day of each month, we review the book of the month. In order for a book to be considered worthy a book of the month, it has to meet a very simple criteria. It has to be impactful enough that it will either change your life or your perspective on the world. Now, whether it does or not, of course, is entirely up to you. If you consume the book as a piece of entertainment, you're missing the point. But if you internalize its messages and make it part of you, you have a realistic chance at lasting growth. Our book this month is absolutely worthy a book of the month. Our book is called Daily Rituals, How Artists Work by Mason Currey. I was put onto this book by Tim Ferriss, who's been recommending it for some time. When we set goals, we can set different types of goals. The most common type of goal is an attainment goal. This is where you might want to own a Lamborghini or something like that. That's an attainment goal. But the more powerful form of goal is actually the habit goal, and Daily Ritual speaks to that. This book is a fascinating book by Mason Currey that delves into the daily habits and routines of some of the most creative minds in history. From writers and painters to composers and scientists, the book provides a captivating look at how these artists structure their lives to maximize their creativity and their productivity. If you're involved in a creative endeavor in your work, well, then you're an artist. The process of creation involves taking initiative. As a business consultant and as an author and as a real estate developer, I was drawn to this book because of my interest in productivity and how successful individuals manage their time. In Daily Rituals, Currey has compiled a wealth of information on the daily habits of creative geniuses, providing a unique perspective on how they manage to accomplish so much in their lives. One of the things that struck me about this book is the sheer variety of daily routines that these artists followed. Some, like Maya Angelou and Haruki Murakami, preferred to rise early in the morning and to write for several hours before the rest of the world wakes up. Others, like Gustav Mahler and Franz Kafka, preferred to work late into the night, finding that the quiet and solitude of the late hours helped them focus and be productive. What is interesting is that while these routines of the artists varied greatly, they all shared one common trait. They were incredibly disciplined in their approach to their work. Whether it was Beethoven's rigorous daily exercises or Flannery O'Connor's habit of locking herself in her room for several hours each day to write, these artists were committed to their craft and they put in the time and the effort necessary to excel at it. The book also provides insight into the many struggles that these artists faced in their daily lives. For example, many of them struggled with addiction, whether it was to drugs or alcohol or even caffeine. Others struggled with mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, and some found it difficult to balance their creative pursuits with the demands of their personal lives. Does this sound familiar? What's remarkable is that even in the face of these challenges, these artists found a way to create and produce work that has stood the test of time. Whether it was the stunning paintings of Pablo Picasso or the timeless music of Mozart, these artists were able to channel their creativity and produce works that continue to inspire and captivate us today. As someone who works in the business world, I found that many of the lessons and insights contained in this book are applicable to my own life. For example, I was struck by the importance of discipline and routine in the lives of these artists. While it's tempting to rely on inspiration or motivation to fuel your work, the reality is that it's often the consistent day-to-day effort that leads to that true success. Another important lesson I took away from the book is the importance of rest and rejuvenation. Many of the artists featured in the book had habits and routines that allowed them to recharge their batteries and come back to the work refreshed and energized. Whether it was a daily walk or a weekend spent in the countryside, these artists recognized the importance of taking time to take care of themselves to produce their best work. Overall, I recommend Daily Rituals, How Artists Work, to anyone who's interested in creativity, productivity, or the lives of successful individuals. And while the book focuses on artists, the lessons and insights contained herein are applicable to anyone who wants to excel at their chosen profession. The book is well written and it's engaging, and Currey does a great job of bringing these artists to life on the page. Whether you're a writer, a musician, a real estate investor, a developer, an architect, there's something in here for everyone. It's a fascinating and insightful book that offers a unique perspective on the lives and routines of some of the most creative minds in history. So as you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go get a copy of Daily Rituals by Mason Currey. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.